From Scrambled Eggs, and today I'm doing a set
to you with a new video. Hi guys, this is Garland coming to you with a new video.
Hi guys, this is Garland from Scrambled Eggs, and today I'm doing a video.
Hi guys, this is Garland from Scrambled Eggs, and today I'm doing a review.
And this is Garland from Scrambled Eggs, and today I'm reviewing El Gore from.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to sbxgii. Today we will be discussing fear and originality. Fear has become a prominent part of society, and in some way it affects everyone. But how does it affect us personally? And how does it affect our originality? At the very start of this YouTube channel, it was actually named G2, or something along those lines. Then it changed to something around its G2, then Scrambled Eggs, back to its G2, now sbxgii. With all those names, it can get confusing. But the point is, the first name started out with originality. So at the superstar, many years ago, I actually posted Lego content, specifically somewhere along the lines of Star Wars figures, different scenes from Star Wars, planes, just literally anything in there, because that's what I love doing. And I posted those videos in full confidence, without any fear, and with full originality packed into the video. It was true personality. The unfortunate part of that was that my love for playing and creating with that product was fading. So I still loved it, and I posted it as consistently as possible. So I was fine with that. But there was still something about putting my own designs on the internet that I loved and having people appreciate them. So even if I did fall out of love with it, I still enjoyed doing it to a degree. So even through middle school, I continued to post. However, this is about where the society, the fear, and loss of originality come into play. So everybody, well, most people would assume that middle school is a time where you are either empowered or you're pushed down. You have to pick your place in society. At least in the middle school society, you have different groups. You have like the preppy people, you have the sports people, you have the geeks, nerds, all those people. Everybody's there. It's a really easy time to be like easily influenced, and that I was. So our minds are constantly looking for ways to be better accepted and in some way fit in with everybody else, doing what everybody else is doing, being to a degree normal. So everybody else played a sport, and they had their clubs, they had their friend groups, they had events, they had everything. And I don't know, felt like they were more mature than me at the time. So it felt like they were more mature and that they could handle more. They're closer to being an adult than I was, because I was still off playing with Legos, building stuff, creating for YouTube. So yeah, it felt like everyone was reaching for something more, but while they were doing that, I was still off playing with Legos and creating new styles for my next YouTube video. Eventually, I allowed that to affect me. So middle school had almost passed, and I was through with Legos by that point. My only thought was to be more mature and, at the time, less of a standout. So the video stopped. Fear crept in of being judged for playing with Legos in the middle of middle school, creating content in the middle of middle school. It crept in, and it eventually stopped me. So that was a fear of being too different, too childlike, fear of never being accepted as a normal kid. And that early fear stopped me from competing with myself, instead trying to do better than or be more appealing than the kid that's next to me. So now we have arrived at the final channel, sbxgii. Now, sbxgii was designed to be my reintroduction to YouTube, and it's definitely been that so far. So quarantine happened, all that stuff happened. We're past G2P2, which was about the start-ish of quarantine. And I appreciated quarantine actually, because it gave me time to build my own confidence and to see myself as a brand and something that I could sell, regardless of whether or not people like it. Yeah. So, it really helped me answer a few questions, especially on why I wasn't on YouTube. Like, why was I supposed to be afraid of other people's thoughts or actions, their reactions to my video, to what I'm doing in life in general? Or why was I supposed to think that I couldn't do it? That went for YouTube and everything in life. Why should I think that in some ways I'm not mature enough to do certain things? These are general questions that some people might have and may never answer. So, yeah, at some point you have to answer such questions, and answering them really helps you to think about everything. It helps you to solve them. When there are no more questions to answer, you're given a clean slate. It helps you to think clearly and to act. You are no longer just moving about without any purpose. Once there are no more questions, like once I actually figured it out, I was like, well, dang, why am I not doing this? And there was no answer for it because I had already answered every question. So now I don't have an excuse for it. And here I am, now I'm doing it, telling you guys about it. So while I'm here, I wanted to just bring out some of the points that I learned over quarantine in regards to on the topic of fear, why it stops us. So the first point, fear prevents us from having fun and being ourselves. If I'm myself here, then what will other people think? Why should we allow that to get to us? Exactly. There's no reason, because everybody wants to be themselves these days, and at this point, you should just do it. Fear of not being good enough hinders us from making the moves that we want to make. Why are we afraid of not being good enough? Most of these fears come from comparison of other people to yourself. And at some point, we have to learn not to compare ourselves to anybody, but to compete with ourselves so we can become better than everyone. Fear of people disliking our work. That one kind of got me. Our own originality is at stake if we fall to fear. That is when I stopped posting Lego videos. That is when I stopped posting the things that I wanted to post. Yeah, and another aspect that I thought about is what we have to do if we cannot get over the fear. And that is called a risk. Take a risk. If you don't take any risk, then you are going to be stuck in this tiny little bubble. You're not going anywhere. You're not moving. Nothing is changing. And all of those fears, all of those roadblocks stop you from doing one thing, which for me was videos here on YouTube and other aspects in my life. But more importantly, just being myself in general. Now, I actually got kind of lucky because I have an amazing family. They helped me to grow up and be more confident in myself. And I also have an amazing support system called Band. They also help you to grow up, but a lot faster. You only have 4 years to figure it out. It's 4 years. So early in the video that I said that I stopped competing with myself, and in Band I actually got that quality back. That's an entirely different video. So now we need to answer the question. Now we know why we lost our originality, which was ultimately fear of so many unimportant aspects and other unimportant factors. The question now is how we actually get it back. So it's kind of like gaining self-trust and self-confidence back. In some ways, you need to experiment with your strengths, find where they really work, find out what you can do with those strengths. And in other ways, you need to find what you can do or how your weaknesses are. It takes a almost selfish spirit to truly start on that path of self-discovery. And while I was in quarantine, which it can work inside or outside of quarantine, for me personally, the most vital step was actually quarantine, being by myself. So yeah, separation from the crowd, from what's normal, from everyday life, that will really help you to figure it out. Because in our normal lives, we're just filled and bombarded by different distractions. So we never really focus on ourselves. We never really find out who we personally are without any distractions. Like I said, got to answer every single question that you could possibly think about. With focus, you need to find your mental limit and answer as many of those unsolved questions about yourself or about something in your life as you can. Answer them all. Where there's no mystery, there is no doubt. So eliminate the mystery about yourself. And like I said, it'll give you a clean slate to actually jump from. And then when you finally jump from there, you'll see yourself and just how high you can actually go. So taking the time to realize, it's gonna sound weird, taking the time to realize that you are the stuff, you are it, it really helps a lot. Because nowadays we're so distracted by our phones and life in general that we don't actually sit down and have a conversation with ourselves. So you need to examine every thought, every inclination. Why? After that, I realized, well, after I personally answered all of those questions, I realized that I have nothing to worry about as long as I am improving personally. So if you continue working on yourself and just 100% worry about yourself, then you'll see that everybody around you wants to have what you have. Whereas before, you were looking at everybody else wanting to have what they have. And you'll see that people really only think good things of you. And if they don't, then so what? So answer the question, what are you afraid of? And why are you afraid of it? If you are still afraid of it, take a gamble. That's taking a risk, and put yourself out there. And then you keep on going with it, regardless of reactions, whatever's going on, whatever people have to say. You keep going with it. And if you think about it, if you really take time to think about it, you only have more to lose by sitting there doubting yourself for years, days, months, years, whatever it is, however long you're going to sit there and doubt yourself, than by getting to the action. Pick yourself up, get to the action. Yeah, so with the loss of fear comes the return of originality. No more fear standing in our way. So all we can do is get up and put everything that we have out there. Your originality will return when you are unbothered by the world that is made to judge and critique every movement that you have. Think past. Sorry, I had to laugh about it. Think past it so you can outgrow it and grow into yourself, remembering that you are one of one, the only version of yourself. So seriously, take yourself serious, not too seriously though, and get out there. Take that risk. Like I said, well, I didn't say it before, but I was thinking it. If I wanted to post a Lego video right now, I really could. And nobody could do anything about it. And it would be a good video. It would be a hit. I don't have a reason to fear anyone anymore. So, yeah, I wouldn't be competing against anybody but myself. And then if the fear comes up ever again, now I know what to do. Take a risk and break past it. So if I'm willing to take a risk and break past any fear that I possibly have, are you?